joined by UConn coach Bob Diaco. Huskies open the season Friday, August 29th against Brigham Young. That will be at Rentschler Field in East Hartford, Connecticut, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPN. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today and also in advance for your participation during the season. If you could take a minute to let us know how your training camp has gone and what you expect to see as you take the field Friday against BYU, please.
Training camp has been good. It's been, like all training camps, a real challenge for everybody to get through and consider themselves successful for having gotten through it. I think that's a hallmark of a good camp. The team is fairly healthy. We got our bumps and bruises and nicks and whatnot, like anybody else would at this time. But for the last 9 months, we've been working hard on our players' hearts and minds and their bodies. So they've come a long way in a short period of time. They've made a great investment, and camp was no different. They worked hard. They stayed focused. We grew closer as a team, and they've got a deeper understanding of how we need to conduct our culture. Systematically, we're still at a very baseline level. Players know the assignments, but it's just a very baseline understanding. It doesn't have a lot of depth at this point. So we're moving forward and moving along that way. They're improving fundamentally every day with the nuts and bolts things that give the player a chance during the play. We expect a national branded BYU team that over the last 20 or 30 years, hard pressed to find a better organization and university in the country, in particular as it relates to football success, than BYU. So we're expecting to see that caliber of football team at the Ren on Saturday night.
Take questions for Coach Bob Diaco, please. Hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you. Head with the first question, please.
And we'll take our first question from Jay Drew with the Salt Lake Tribune.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi.
Earlier this summer, the ACC and the SEC basically came out and said that their games against non-Power 5 schools won't count in their mandate that their schools play, one non-conference game a year against other Power 5 schools. I'm just curious to what your reaction to that was and how that will affect UConn's scheduling moving forward, their non-conference scheduling.
Yeah, I would say that we're those big picture items, flying at 40,000 feet right there. We're more, boots on the ground right now and trying to get a football team ready to play BYU. Specifically, as it relates to UConn, I can't imagine that there'd be a sentence that doesn't have power in it when talking about UConn's athletic department. You'd be hard-pressed to find a team that had more, athletic department success than UConn a year ago in, 2013/14 with 3 national championships, multiple conference championships, and many, many appearances deep into championship season in track and field and men's and women's soccer, having national championships in their recent past. So as it relates to UConn, I can't imagine that there'd be an athletic department in the country that would be able to say that they've had more success or been more powerful, when you use the word power, in the country.
Okay, thanks. And then just as a follow-up, obviously you've seen BYU the last 2 years, or 2 of the last 2 years with there at Notre Dame. What, as you watch film of them this year, what maybe stands out, or what do you kind of recall from those matchups of going?
What I recall from those matchups is they were absolutely bitter, dogfight, tough, hard-nosed games to the very, very end. BYU has got a massive amount of fight and scrap, and they play with great effort. They're very sound. They're really well coached football team, and it's going to be they're going to be coming at you for 4 full quarters. Every play, the whole game, no matter what. They're situationally alert, and they've got a lot of talented players back from a year ago.
Thank you, Coach.
And we'll move to our next question from Darnell Dixon with the Daily Herald.
Good morning, Coach.
Hi, Darnell.
Hi. The question I had is about, I heard that one of your strengths is the planning and details and that sort of thing. And where did that come from? Is that a family trait? Is that something you picked up from one of your mentors?
I don't know. I really don't. I've always done better with a plan, even though they're, I'm sure in most cases, useless and frivolous, but it's like grasping at the wind. But I feel more comfortable when I have a plan. I can't stop my brain from thinking about the next moment. And sometimes I get complaints from family and friends that prevents me from enjoying the moment I'm in. But I just feel better when things have a plan and there's detail in the plan.
And then as a follow-up, as you've taken this head coaching job, and if there are times where you feel maybe a little overwhelmed, what do you turn to get you sort of refocused and ready to take on the next challenge?
The players. Just when the day becomes a lot to take, you normally in a swirl that's taking you and your attention and your eyes off of why you really do what you do and why we're doing what we're doing, and that is to, coach and teach these young men. So you think about them and the care and how excited you are to see them in 5 minutes or 5 hours, and you can get back on track pretty easily.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And we'll move to our next question from David Caldwell with the Wall Street Journal.
Hi, Bob. I have 2 questions for you. Hi.
Okay.
I have 2 questions for you. One is, you touched on the hearts and minds challenge of this job. I was wondering, first of all, has that taken up a lot of your time, or a lot more of your time than you might have expected it to? And how do you go about doing that? How do you go about changing the philosophy or the culture of a program?
Oh, wow. We could sit down for a long weekend and go through that. Not that it's all right or wrong, but you raise the level of respect for what they're a part of. You teach the players about each other and allow them to get to know each other and the coaches. Everyone in our football family, from recognizing the custodial services people to the team and giving them a standing O, or the dining hall services and the pride that they have, and the just incredible character and class that they present their stuff with. Consistency and being sure every player is being treated the same, and there's no stars or special preferential treatment for anyone. Giving them what they need, and approaching the day as if everyone's going to need something and something different, and on and on, making just decisions that serve the players, serve the young men.
The second question is smaller. Have you found that to be easier or more difficult to do at a school that's had so much success, especially recently in basketball? Sort of looking at this.
No. They need everyone, every young man, and every university needs so much work. I just think back to my time in that same phase, and what a disaster! Just what a mess. How much more care I could have taken, and it's a growing. It's just a growing phase. It's a maturing phase, and there's something that you can do and say every single day, every minute, every moment. You could do something for one of these, young men on the team, and try to make an impact. And that's not even considering football and fundamentals and systems and team ideology. So that's just them, growing and developing. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have time for one more for Coach Diaco, please.
And we'll move to our next question from Gary Smith with New Orleans Advocate.
Hi, Coach. With Houston and Tulane debuting new stadiums this year, I think that makes 5 teams in the AAC that have built new stadiums since the turn of the century, and UConn is one of them. One, what does that say about the commitment in the league? And 2, how much do you feel like your stadium can be a huge home field advantage for you?
I think that playing at the Ren is a great venue. It's got a good size. It's got luxury boxes. It's got very easy accessibility. My understanding is as it relates to the things that you enjoy on game day, from concessions to accessibility to bathrooms and parking and flow, that all that's really nice, and you're in and out, and there's a lot of roads that enter and exit. So it's a loud venue. In the past, it has been packed and rocking. So, playing at the Ren is a great venue for our team, and we've practiced in there now, a half dozen times, whether they be workouts or practices. So it's been a great thing here the last 9 months to get really acquainted with our home field, and it's going to be a beautiful venue to play in.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for your time this week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.